Is this you? Do you not get any bitches? Do you have to sit in the toilets to eat your food, even though someone's getting their back blown out in one stall, and someone's taking a shit so bad that they have to strip down in another stall just because you got no one to sit with at lunch? It's okay, look, we've all been there. And you've come to the right place. Fuck all of those other tutorials on YouTube. I tried following one, and they actually strung me up like a piñata and beat the living shit out of me. So, this is a 100% foolproof method of getting friends. If you don't get any after this video and after following all my tips, then I can't lie, man, you might have to consider becoming a Discord mod. But that's worst case scenario, alright? Worst case. Looking good. No matter what people say to you, first impressions do matter. People who tell you not to judge a book by its cover are stupid. Sometimes looking at a cover tells you all about the book. In what world would I read a book that looks like this? No wonder he built the Globe Theater, the broad prig probably named after his massive forehead. Looking at me like he wants me to give him a sock. And that's why I didn't pick the book up. Now, take this other book for example. Pregnant by my granddaddy's boyfriend. The cover was so much better than the last one, so much more diverse and eye-catching in general, and that's why I bought the book. So, what I'm basically trying to say is, you gotta look good. No one's telling you to pull up like NRKI, but brush your teeth, brush your hair, wipe your ass, be confident, eye contact. Not too much though. Some people stare dead into my soul, and I feel like I'm gonna be a victim. Even your outfit had to look presentable. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to pull up in Gucci flip-flops, all suited up. But man, sometimes I deadass think I could rob Lost and Found and come back with drip better than some of you lot. Now, before you lot start jumping me in the comments, this obviously doesn't apply to you if you're broke. We've all been there sometimes. Sometimes you don't have a pound to rub against another pound. When I was in 6th form, we had no uniform and I had to pull up in my dad's old work shirts. My skirt was way too big, so it made my already minuscule ass look way more flatter and saggier than it normally is. And my tights didn't even fit me. They actually used to slowly slip down during the day, and every time I'd yank it up, I would literally give myself a wedgie, which is why I let it fall. I would waddle home with my tights around my knees. The only thing that prevented me from committing public indecency was the fact that my skirt was also practically down to my shins. I looked like I was wearing a shower curtain. And yet, I still had friends. Compliments. Now, my love language is words of affirmation, which is basically like a praise kink. Every time someone says something nice about me in the comments, I do kick my feet and giggle. I love you guys so much. And people like feeling good. And genuinely, it can be something basic, like, I like your hair, or, man, I don't know, I like the way you tie your shoes. Don't overdo it though, or it looks like you're just begging for their attention. Trust me, I've been there before. Now, okay, you're thinking a few weeks ahead, right? You've already made these kind of friends, they're kind of your friends, but not really your friends. And you've rotated through all the starter questions like, oh, what's your name? And how's uni going so far? What school did you come from? And then just awkwardly staring off into the distance. You know, that's actually my favorite bit. When both of you run out of shit to say, but you can't get out of the situation, so you just both stare ahead while you're trying to find something to say, while you're trying to look nonchalant at the same time. Then you finally come up with some shit to say, only for them to reply with a one-word answer, and you're both just staring off into the distance again. I think that's pretty peak. I love that. But this advice is for after you get to know each other a little bit, just to see what they think of you. Obviously, you have the good old, would you still love me if I was a worm? Now, this may seem like a setup, but this is just making sure that your friends love you for you, and not for your looks, your money, or your humongous ass. Next one. If I were a homeless man, would you give me money? Now, this not only tests how generous they are, this also tests if they would have your back if you were in a bad situation. Now, the last question you should probably ask your new friends is, would you rather get pregnant with my kid or get pregnant with a random person's kid? Now, this not only tests if they like you enough to be your baby mama, because the random person could range from Kim K to their uncle. It also tests if they might be a gambling addict in the future. If they choose the slight chance that their uncle is their baby daddy over you, then I think it's time to start looking for some new friends. Okay, all jokes aside, genuinely as corny and as cringy as it sounds, the best way of making friends is being yourself. Well, what if they don't like me? Then what is the point of being friends with them in the first place if you're gonna be acting like a whole another person around them? And if you're having a bad day, then what? You can't play a role forever. On a genuine note, you've gotta try and be comfortable like on your own. This is even after you get friends. Shit can change, people fall out. One person that you're guaranteed to have is yourself. Even with my friends, sometimes we have days where we talk our heads off, and sometimes we have days where we just sit in silence. And it took me a long time to get adjusted to that. And I can now because I've realized that my identity doesn't start or end with them. And I love having them around. I love my friends. I'm so lucky that they're in my life. But do I need them? Not really. And not really focusing or stressing on making friends kind of helped me to make friends. Because I knew I'd have myself, my hobbies, YouTube, and even if I didn't, I could always try lean into having a mysterious personality. But with my nun-length skirt and saggy tights, that is not happening. It's never too late to make friends. I went 3 years into my school before I met my friends, and trust me, they were worth the wait.
Guys, come back! Guys, no!
Loki, I'm rambling right now. I'm sorry if I don't make sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, you'll be okay. No matter what happens, things will turn out okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening to this nonsense yap. Stay smart, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.